We recently commissioned Forrester Consulting to conduct a study on our behalf to find out more about how enterprise development teams are doing when it comes to building applications, both internal and external or customer-facing apps. We found that only 39% of business decision makers thinks IT can deliver on time and on budget. IT leaders say that the top reasons they struggle to keep up are complexity, silos within the organization, and a lack of priorities. They are trying to do way too much all at once, on time and on budget. Those are important, but they're not as important as whether or not people are using it. Are they accomplishing user goals and business goals? Teams know user experience is important, but they don't prioritize it. According to the study, only 20% of IT decision makers say they are very satisfied with the user experience of the customer-facing web apps they create in-house, and only 14% are very satisfied with their customer-facing mobile apps. Their business counterparts agree. Forrester research found that business satisfaction with IT organizations is lower than 50%. Despite all of this dissatisfaction, the digital customer experience is still not a priority for internal teams. Of those IT decision makers surveyed, only 25% prioritize updating and modernizing key legacy apps, and only 20% prioritize mobile.
We've seen these teams struggle with these obstacles for years. So what's the answer? Well, the answer is integrated thinking. It's a change in their mind shift that is embodied in these three principles. The first one is that they need to take responsibility not just for the applications and the coding and the deployment, but they have to take responsibility for the business impact. Even if they don't have formal responsibility for it, that's what they have to focus on, because ultimately those applications are created to have some measurable positive impact on the business. That's what it means to keep your eye on the ball. And the ball in this case is not your code. That's part of the game, but the ball is that business impact. The second thing that they have to do is they have to task integrated design with the right people. Now, often applications are designed by business people, technology people, but teams often over-rotate on one or the other. So the application may be designed too much by the business people, and that's often expressed in the terms of business requirements, or these are the customer requirements. Or sometimes it goes too far to the other side, and technology assumes what's needed, and then there's some sort of gap in the middle. These teams have to get together, but it's not that happy get-together that we've been hearing for 20 years. It's very, very different in that the people who make these design decisions have to be experts not just in the business and not just in technology, but there have to be team members that are experts in both, that deeply understand the business and deeply understand technology. Are they hard to find? They are, but they're essential to integrated design. The third principle is how application development teams measure themselves. They typically measure themselves by getting it done on time, how elegantly they've written the code, some of the technology choices they've made, and if they're meeting the functionality. The only measure that matters and how they will ultimately be judged is on the user experience. How do the users feel about that application, and is the application making the business impact, whether it's an enterprise app to make employees more efficient or a customer app to engage customers better.
Integrated thinking can be a huge challenge for internal teams. They said it themselves. Silos are a barrier to success. Oftentimes, an objective outside team that has experience with customer insight, business strategy, user experience design, and development can help break down those silos and foster an integrated approach.
The good news for application development is that this is a technology-driven world. The largest companies, the largest governments, and even mom and pops rely on technology. And with mobile devices, smartphones, tablets, and big data, there's huge opportunities and appetite for applications. And so application development professional teams have never been more relevant than they are today. And if they follow these three principles of integrated thinking, they're going to be able to move forward and be a lot more successful.